straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good...
Hi, you're watching First Sports. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get the show started. Right on the show today, South Africa attempts to create history as they go up against Australia in the World Test Championship final. But a recent statement by Henry Klaasen, who announced his sudden retirement, has opened up problems and many wounds for South Africa. What is plaguing them more than the choker's tag? The French Open concluded with two stunning singles finals over the weekend, but that cannot brush aside the many issues that proved to be controversial in the way the French Open was conducted this year. Do sporting events held by France need a drastic facelift? And Cristiano Ronaldo took his country to a glorious Nations League triumph, getting the better of a young Spanish brigade led by Lamine Yamal. But the biggest news came from off the pitch, where he broke his silence on the possibility of pairing up with Lionel Messi in the last phase of his career. All that heading your way, but first, the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, England registered a 4-wicket win in the second T20 international versus West Indies. They clinched the three-match series 2-0 with one match to go. Batting first, West Indies posted 196. Shai Hope scored 49. In response, Joss Butler's 47 powered England to 199 with 9 balls to spare. On to developments from the Bengaluru Stampede. RCB moved Karnataka High Court to quash the criminal case registered against them. The Bengaluru franchise has been accused of being responsible for the death of 11 people that happened during the Stampede outside the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium just during that victory parade. The Karnataka government continues to blame RCB and the Cricket Association of the state for the disaster. On to football. Barcelona star Robert Lewandowski has decided not to play for his national side Poland. It comes after he was stripped of captaincy by new manager Michael Probers. The Polish star said he won't feature for Poland until Probers remains in charge. Lewandowski has scored 85 goals in 158 international appearances. On to news from swimming. Canadian teen Summer McIntosh smashed the 400-meter freestyle record during trials. McIntosh recorded a time of 3 minutes and 54 seconds, surpassing the previous best of 3 minutes and 55 seconds set by Australian Ariane Titmus. McIntosh won 3 golds and 1 silver at the Paris Games last year. And summing it up with news from basketball, Oklahoma City Thunder have leveled the NBA Finals against Indiana Pacers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points as City Thunder beat Indiana Pacers in Game 2. The 7-match series is now tied at 1-1. The two will face again in Game 3 on the 12th of June. South Africa is on the cusp of achieving something special. They are in an ICC final yet again. The World Test Championship will conclude with the final set to begin on the 11th of this month. Australia and South Africa will battle for top honours at Lord's in England. So it is a massive moment for the cricketing country, but also one that is mired in controversial times for the country as far as their cricketing ambitions go, and what the world perceives of this journey so far. South Africa, as a cricketing nation, has tasted victory in the under-19 category, but just that one sole win. As always, otherwise, victory has evaded the men's teams and the women's teams over the many decades.
Yes, there will be that tag that gets thrown our way until we win a trophy. You're not going to get rid of the tag. Is it deserving on these youngsters coming through? No. It's almost like they're carrying the burden of what happened in previous years.
Imagine a country that managed to produce some of the best fast bowlers, the best all-rounder that the world has arguably witnessed. Some classy batters and very strong leaders have all emerged from South Africa, yet they haven't been able to come together collectively to cross the line even once in the senior setups. And Henry Klaasen's abrupt retirement has possibly reiterated one of the things that's plaguing cricket in South Africa over the last few years in particular.
I felt for a long time that I didn't really care about any of my performances and whether the team won or not. That's the wrong place to be. I didn't feel good in my heart about what was going on. I wasn't enjoying it that much.
He was obviously talking about the lack of passion that he felt cricket and the results, how he or his team was faring, was not bothering him anymore. He didn't care anymore about that. And that's problematic. There was a lack of interest that had engulfed him, and that's why he called it quits. It's the right thing to do. Can't really play anymore without passion, but this has also reinforced a larger issue that South Africa is grappling with currently, the boom of league cricket the world over, including their own shores, making T20 a more viable, more lucrative and sought-after option compared to any international commitment. Test cricket more so. Something Mark Boucher, their former coach, says this WTC final could really turn around.
We find ourselves in a final. Everyone's very excited about it now as the opportunity arises. If we win it, I think then that could be the turnaround for Test cricket in our country.
It's also something Shukri Conrad, their all-format coach currently, is well aware of. The need to put South Africa above every other tournament, every other league is getting more and more serious.
The Proteas will never be a franchise team. The Proteas will never be a league, nor will it be a convenience. This is part of building a culture and building an environment that players want to be part of.
Over the last few years, there have been several instances of players opting the South Africa T20 League, for instance, over a bilateral series. Conrad's surety and insistence comes at a time when South Africa cricket is going to have a packed calendar. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. They are playing, of course, the WTC final. That's now in the month of June. In July, they play Zimbabwe in a bilateral. Then, of course, there is a series against Australia and England, which is in August and September. All those clash with T20 leagues like the MLC, the 100 and the Caribbean Premier League. They all overlap. Key leagues around the world that has players like David Miller, Ryan Rickelton and Marco Jansen all roped in. There's the reason why South Africa Cricket Board insisted on their players returning right after the IPL wrapped up its league stages, which was the 27th of last month, even if the IPL teams that they were part of made it to the playoffs. Whether it was Lungi Ngiri for Bengaluru, Corbin Bosch for Mumbai, Ryan Rickelton as well as Kagiso Rabada, Ryan Rickelton for Mumbai, Rabada for Gujarat. They all packed up and left. This South African Cricket Association wants to play tough cop. They want to develop an iron fist to improve the standard of cricket in the country and stop more such talented players like Klaasen drift away. And it's not just that. There's also these talks of South Africa having reached the WTC final with ease, having played far easier opponents on their way. They need to quash all of that. And for that to happen, a change in its mindset needs to take place. But one that will be even more difficult to execute in these times of growing T20 prominence. The French Open ended with an iconic men's singles finale. World number 1 Yannick Sinner lost to world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz in a 5-set thriller, the longest in French Open history, breaking all sorts of records. A match that had fans on the edge of their seats. And just a day earlier, Coco Gauff overpowered women's world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in a 3-set nail-biter. And while these epic matches made it a memorable Grand Slam affair, what may linger longer, though, is the wave of criticism directed towards the organizers. Accusations of bias, a conservative approach, and clear signs of prioritizing the men's event over the women's have put Roland Garros under serious scrutiny. Has the French Open lost touch with the times we are living in today? For decades, the French Open has been considered a crown jewel of all slams. The unique clay surface with its slow pace, the high bounce, demands a specific set of skills too. It's an art that one player was able to master till recently, of course, till he retired, Rafael Nadal. And while this year marked the first edition since Nadal's retirement since a while, the tournament began with the buzz surrounding the legendary Spaniard. But that excitement, sense of nostalgia only lasted a couple of days because what followed was controversy. The biggest flashpoint, no women's singles matches scheduled during prime time night slots for the third year in a row now. Those time slots were reserved exclusively for the men. Even world number one Arina Sabalenka was repeatedly scheduled on court number 1, not the Philippe Chartier. Court 1 is a secondary venue with lesser crowd capacity. Her knockout matches were mostly pushed to afternoon hours, far from peak viewership timings. The reason? Organizers claim they wanted to put better matches in the night slot. That sparked outrage among some of the biggest names in tennis. Here you have the world number one playing exceptional tennis for some years now, asking for fair treatment when she shouldn't really have to. Her performances, her rivalry with Iga Świątek, her hunger to win all have made her the face of women's tennis. There was also a huge uproar over preferential treatment in the men's draw as well. During the quarterfinal match between Lorenzo Musetti and Francis Tiafoe, Musetti kicked a ball that unfortunately struck a female line judge. But he only received a warning for the code violation, allowing him to continue playing. No other punishment was given because in a similar incident from the 2020 US Open, Novak Djokovic was disqualified from the entire tournament. Clearly, France had its own standards of code violation. They failed to uphold the standard of organizing an event and treating all equally, an important prerequisite for any event. Clearly, in Paris, certain things still seem to be stuck in the past, even though the sport seems to have advanced and made rapid strides forward. While other Grand Slams, for example, have embraced line technology for increased accuracy, Roland Garros still uses traditional line judges who can only be overruled by the chair umpire. Yes, tradition is valuable, but so is progress. And this resistance to adapt when it comes to certain aspects, it's becoming a bit of a pattern and a habit with France in particular. Remember the Paris Olympics last year, billed as the most eco-friendly games ever, and kudos to attempt that. What followed, though, was a series of missteps that was clearly not thought through. Poor nutrition options for athletes who were there at the village, most uncomfortable rooms to stay in. It's one thing to pursue sustainability and the quest for it. It's another to sacrifice players' comfort in the process. What's becoming clear is this: sports in France needs a cultural shift, not just in logistics or planning, but in mindset. A mindset that welcomes change, that respects rising talent and gives sport across all events, categories, the platform it rightly deserves. That's what was missing from the 2025 edition of the French Open. Sure, the Alcaraz-Sinner final will go down in history as one that will define this era for men's tennis. It'll be remembered just as much for all that went wrong too. The Nations League final between Portugal and Spain was a fiercely contested match that was ultimately decided on penalties, but there was more drama off the pitch. This mega showdown got even more special with Cristiano Ronaldo clearing the air about his departure from Saudi Arabia and reports linking him to sharing the dressing room with another legend, Lionel Messi. But Before we dive into that, let's talk about how the so-called too old captain Cristiano Ronaldo led Portugal to defy all odds against a young, dynamic Spanish side. Portugal came from behind not once but twice to take the game into penalties. While Nuno Mendes scored a stunning equalizer to make it 1-1, it was their captain Ronaldo who netted the crucial equalizer that truly mattered. The game then went into a penalty shootout. Spain faltered once and Portugal only took full advantage to claim their second Nations League title. And at 40 years of age, Ronaldo dismantled a threatening Spanish side led by 17-year-old prodigy Lamine Yamal. This moment was massive for both Portugal and Ronaldo. He's won 3 major trophies for his country in the 21 years, while Portugal had none before his debut. But the real buzz was around Ronaldo clearing up speculations about his participation in the upcoming FIFA Club World Cup, his imminent possible departure from Saudi Arabia. Transfer rumours have been swirling for weeks, with Ronaldo being linked to clubs worldwide, potential destinations that could offer a shot at the club showpiece event in America.
You have to think about the short, medium, and long term. It's a decision practically made on my part not to go to the Club World Cup, but I've had quite a few invitations to go.
In other words, Ronaldo brushed off the tournament as an irrelevant one for now. So, does this put the rumoured Ronaldo-Messi reunion in the same club to rest? Not quite. Beyond skipping the Club World Cup, Ronaldo opened the door to the possibility of playing alongside his longtime rival, Lionel Messi.
I have a lot of affection for Argentina. My wife is Argentine. I also have affection for Messi. I've had invitations to play the Club World Cup with Argentine teams, you know that. You never know, time is there. I am already 40 years old, but I always say never.
And with that, Ronaldo has teased the possibility of teaming up with Messi. Now it's up to clubs around the world to make it happen. The one thing Ronaldo's statement makes clear is this: although he's 40, retirement isn't on the horizon, at least any time now. And the Nations League final was proof of that. Despite not winning silverware with Al Nassr, Ronaldo is still a key figure in Saudi Arabia. The Public Investment Fund is pulling out all stops to keep their biggest trophy in the kingdom. But it's not just Saudi Arabia that needs Ronaldo. Even in the twilight of his career, the Spain versus Portugal match was billed as a battle between Lamine Yamal and Cristiano Ronaldo. Imagine this, a 17-year-old football sensation being pitted against a seasoned veteran, one of the oldest in the sport. Yamal has a long way to go, yes, but right now he's the hottest topic in football worldwide. He has the potential to take any team across the line. So, comparing Ronaldo and Yamal is basically saying Ronaldo remains relevant among the past, present and future generations. The Portuguese captain proved that in the Nations League. He may be critiqued for stretching his career, but he proves why this experience and his is needed the most. Had it not been for his hunger to win, Portugal may have slipped under pressure. But the presence of a star as big as Ronaldo did the trick. Sure, it's just Nations League for now, but maybe the next stop could be the World Cup. And like Ronaldo says, never say never. Time for last serve, with the FIFA World Cup in 2026 being a bigger affair where the teams have expanded to 48 now. We'll experience and see a lot of first-timers in action. Top of the list are Uzbekistan and Jordan. Fans of both the countries celebrated their first World Cup qualification. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll, of course, see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.